to Axim and what have you. And so I think that I'm not speaking because I'm not part of this decision, but I think that it's an area that you may also need some level of focus. And so that may be the reason why they're keeping it. So.
As long as we have 60. Okay.
Yeah, 60, yeah.
And as long as if you reduce from 30 to 23, it's something that is commendable, even though I would have done more adjustment to put even transport, transport
and then roads and highways.
And all that. There's a paper that has been researched and written.
Yes,
and I'm saying, I was a bit surprised at when Andy, Honorable Andy Apiakubi was saying, if 60 was, if they couldn't do 60, they could go more. There's a paper that we've researched and written on, and that says that we can even run Ghana with 30 ministries, ministers.
Yes.
And so I think this is commendable. Yes. I mean, depending on how we look at things, we can all make input and say you could have done X, Y, Z. But generally, if you have reduced ministries from 30 to 23, then it's something that we should commend. And I like the bit about Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment. Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment. The idea of talking about Ministry of Youth and Sports and then focusing on only sports. You go to a National Youth Authority and they don't have resources. There's nothing, virtually nothing being done to empower the youth. Has festered or has been with us for many years. And the idea is that, look, if the future belongs to the youth, then the youth must be prepared for the future. And one of the things you do to prepare the youth for the future is to ensure that they are developed and they are empowered so they can be able to be positioned to be able to take over the mantle of leadership from those who are exiting. The practice where now young people are parading on social media and not being empowered, but always resorting to insult, verbal attacks, and some people are making a living just by insulting people on social media. All these things point to a certain bleak future for Ghana. And so I am excited about a ministry that is focused on youth development. Ghana is a youthful population. Essentially, we are a youthful population. And so it is important that we deliberately put in place measures to cater for young people and their development, subsuming youth issues to sports ministry, knowing that the football alone will gobble all the resources that is allocated to that ministry, has been with us. It's a practice that has been with us for far too long, and I'm excited that you have a government who has had this foresight of ensuring that at least if the future belongs to the youth, we put in place a whole ministry that will ensure that youth are developed and empowered and prepared for the future. I commend this whole thing, reduction of ministries from 30 to 23. It's not happened. And so it's not happened before. And we want to have more positive, unprecedented achievements. Under Mr. Akufo-Addo, everything was unprecedented, but in a negative way. Everything was unprecedented.
Everything?
But yeah, virtually everything was unprecedented, but in a negative way. Akufo-Addo is reputed to have had the biggest size government in the history of actually Ghanaian politics from independence. Biggest size government. Everything unprecedented. Yeah. He couldn't do any meaningful reshuffle. He couldn't downsize. He couldn't do anything. And so if you have a president who is reducing the number of ministries from 30 to 23 and saying he's going to run Ghana with 60 ministers, and somebody is saying, well, if 60 is too small, we should. And some people were also mocking at him. How is he going to run Ghana with just 60 ministers? They are ignorant. They should Google this paper. Ministerial appointment and government expenditure in Ghana's Fourth Republic. Google it.
Written by
myself and Alas and Anamzoya Suleimana of the from the Sociology Department of the University of Ghana. Look at that paper, and it makes the point. If we do the necessary scrappings, realignments, and all that, we can even run Ghana with 30 ministers. Most of the jobs that are created, ministries that are created, are needless jobs for the boys. But you people, you used to tout yourself that before getting into power, you had your monies, you have your resources, you had your houses, you had your V8s and all that. So what do you need the job for the boys for? We are talking about governing a country in a manner that brings about development. The practice of having a big-sized government is, always amount to you fetching water with basket, because every resources that comes is spent on V8s. You are V8 for ministers. You have to give them gardeners. You have to give them day watchmen, night watchmen, chauffeurs, and cooks, and you pay all manner of things, as a way of expenditure on them.
We hope that reduces this time round.
Well, it's going. I mean, if at least, if for nothing at all, reduction of ministries from 30 to 23, something that should have a certain impact. Impact that we all see.
I see. Mr. Jackson, you see, this matter cannot just be limited to the